Welcome one and all to the start of League Racing on F1 2020. We've got a dry quality session and a dry race for the first round of the SFR GP2 Championship. I've finally moved up to a full-time tier at SFR, having run in the Reserve League at the end of F1 2019. We're firing up that Renault engine to get ready for qualifying and ready to get underway in SFR, underway in F1 2020, the first league race of the season. And after an initial lap on the softs, we went on to the mediums to try and set a time on the different tyre, try something else, and making our way down towards turn number 13. DRS open, dropping down to fourth gear, bit of curb on the inside, full throttle now, and we lose the rear of the car. Wheel is gone, and we are out of qualifying, out of the session, and we are forced to retire and starting P17 on the grid. Two cars is already retired in the session, and we are the third. So I'm going to be starting right at the back of the grid for this qualifying session. And that is not ideal for the first quality session, but you never know what can happen in Australia. And David Croft will take you through the build-up to the Australian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome from Albert Park, Australia for today's race. And I think it's shaping up to be a classic. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through.
We wait the lights now as we finish the formation lap. We now have 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in Australia. We're starting right at the back. Can we avoid the potential carnage down into the first corner? We're on that right-hand side. On the outside, bit of wings flying about already. Alfa Romeo and the Haas coming together. And we're trying to go around the outside and avoid contact and actually lose 2 positions. And we're now down in last. Carnage as cars are going about everywhere. Front wings and end plates flying all over the shop. And we just about avoid that end plate. Didn't want to get a puncture or anything. And you see, the safety car had been called out for all that debris on the track. And we go from 19th all the way up to 11th, getting 9 places at the end of lap 1. And on lap 2, 2 more cars coming into the pit lane. So getting rid of some of that damage and maybe a penalty or 2. And we get promoted up into P9 now. So 10 places up. And as the safety car came in at the end of lap 3, we've got Walker just behind us. He started just behind us with a car off on the right-hand side. This seems to be one of the Red Bulls. But challenging down into turn 1 is Walker. He started just behind us. So another driver to have had a really good start. And he's having a look on the inside. We're just about giving the room and try our best and hold on to position now. We're coming out of the corner. He is right on the back of us. And looking to make a move down into turn number 3 now. He's going to try and go round the outside. He's on the mediums. I'm on the softs. And he's somehow got the grip and he's gone clean around our outside. Our McLaren teammate though has gone up and he's onto the gravels. He drops down to I think what was P16 at the time. And we now have to sit in behind Walker as he looks to push forward and maybe make up for that error in qualifying. But moving on now into this race, getting settled down. Currently in P8 and right on the back of Frog Lover on the end of lap 6. We've hit the curb very aggressively on the inside. We're catching up to him. And now we've got Yinglights on the back of us in the Renault. He was a second quicker than my TT time in qualifying. So a very, very quick driver. And we could be done around the outside once again. Going clean around outside. Bit of wheel banging as we go now into turn number 4. But the Renault driver gets ahead running a bit wide, but holds on to that position. And we have to sit behind him now, but pushing on to the end of lap 6. It's on lap 7. He's got past Frog Lover. We're now on the back of the Haas driver, taking a bit of the dirt there on the inside. And not the best exit for him. DRS and overtake. And we're trying to get past the Haas driver. Looking to go round the outside into turn 1. Looks like we could get the move done before the corner. And we slopped in ahead of the Haas driver. Gone very, very deep. Yingling had a small error. Oh no, he's jumped up the road. So God knows where he is. And using overtake. And we actually got DRS because the detection point is miles back, it must be said, and it works for the first of DRS zone, so we got DRS to help us defend. And there's a Red Bull car off to the left and he's almost reversed into us, so hopefully no one behind came together with him. And we push on now, and actually the end of lap 10 we're coming into the pit lane. We worked our way up to P5 as others pitting. We're now into the pit lane for our first stop, going on to what I thought was the hards. And look at this, quality 62 kilometers an hour, and we get a 5-second penalty. Completely my fault, but Jeff suggested a random strategy to me, and I think I accidentally accepted. So we unfortunately, are now on the soft tyres rather than the hards. So cheers, Jeff, for that one. And we're going to come out in P10. P9 has car into pit lane. We set the fast lap of the race as we're pushing on the softs to try and make full use of them. And after a VSC came out, we were up on the Delta by what looked like just under 0.2 of a second. And we now have a drive-through penalty. The wrong strategy call, speeding in the pit lane, and now a drive-through penalty to compound the woes. And we come into the pit lane to serve that straight away. So not the best of starts for me. After avoiding contact at turn 1, we got promoted massively. But then, a poor qualifying, a 5-second time penalty, a wrong strategy decision, and now a drive-through for us. We're going to come out in P13 now, just behind our teammate. And we're going to try and push on as best we can now. And that's exactly what we did. Get head down, working hard. And on lap 14 now, we see on the right-hand side, Serge goes into the wall. And he is out of the race, and that brings out the safety car. And me and Quintin in front, we're both McLaren drivers, and we're both talking over our party course, what we do as teammates this season. We both decided to come into the pit lane. It was worth the double stack, I thought, and it's mediums to the end now. And I think I actually held up the Red Bull because I was obviously blocking his pit entry. And also, very, very big thing for me, I served my 5-second penalty in the pit stop. So I now have no penalties. I only had one warning all race. So it now means I am penalty free. And that could be very, very crucial come the end of the race. We're getting ready to go at the end of the safety car period. End of lap 17. And it looks like we might have gone. Of course, the cars are a lot further ahead than I am. And Chris seems to have almost stopped here. And that causes me to stop. And it's a very, very messy restart. We're making sure we have no damage. A few cars, I think, getting a little bit of wing damage that can really compromise them towards the end of this race. But pushing on. And the safety car restart, we're not close enough to make anything work. And the tyres were very, very cold. But I think it's an AFK Alpha Tauri here. I think it might have unfortunately left the session, so we're overtaking an AI car, going round the outside of turn 8 and into the 9-10 chicane. We swoop round the outside and get the position done on that car. We can push forward now and try and make a little bit more progress and catch up with the cars in front. But on lap 20, Chris has, I think, had a small error where we did in qualifying. And that brings out the safety car once again. I think that was the third safety car. See a few cars coming to the pit lane, promoted just into P8. We're now just behind our teammate as well. And we're ready to get going once again at the end of the safety car period. And you can see me and my teammate, we wanted to make sure we had big gaps. And I think you can definitely see that on track there, making sure we're not too close to the cars around us. The game very harsh in terms of penalties this year, especially on the safety car, is what I have noticed. And not taking too many risks, trying to make sure the tyres aren't too cold. And now at this point, me and Quintin, I think we're maybe a little bit out of position, you could say. I think if you judge what our qualifying pace would have been. So we're trying to get maximum points for the McLaren team and seeing what we can do now as I run a little bit deep into the penultimate corner. That really does compromise me, and I've lost touch with Quintin. A slight touch there, but using overtake now. And car behind, a little bit farther behind now. But actually moving on to the final lap of the race. And I said to Quintin over the radio, we're going to push it absolutely everything this lap. And that is exactly what we did. Both of us pushing on because I knew the cars in front may have had penalties, and I had absolutely no penalties. And you can see the delta on the top left. That gap is coming down between me and Senna, almost down to the low end of 2 seconds and running towards the line now. Walker wins the race from behind. He qualified P18, but we come across the line now, giving it absolutely everything, and we get promoted to P2. So P17 to P2. What a race. And it just shows that not having penalties is absolutely massive, especially when there's a late safety car. And I mean, only one warning all race, and I'm lucky that I managed to serve both my penalties when I did. And that's given me P2 and actually puts McLaren at top of the constructors. I think we're on 28 points, and I think it's Alfa Romeo that are on 26. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week for the next race.